This new huge update for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has finally fixed the game, or has it? That's what we're going to be finding out in today's video. All right, fellas, welcome back to another Dragon Ball Sparking Zero video. Man, it's been a while since we've done a little update concerning the game, but I am happy to announce we finally got some patch notes for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now, as always, when it comes to these updates, we are over on the official Bandai Namco Entertainment website, and I'll be sure to link this down below in the description box if any of you guys want to read over this for yourselves. But they're gonna start out by saying at the top here, thank you for playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. A free update for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will be released on December 12th for the following platforms, and that's gonna be, of course, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Steam. And then they're gonna say, due to the update release, maintenance will be conducted from 1600 to 1800 SGT, and I have no idea what time zone that is, so we're gonna have to check on that towards the end of the video probably. To ensure a more enjoyable gameplay experience in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, please ensure to apply the latest update file. No worries about that. We've all been waiting on this. I feel like most people have taken a break from the game in anticipation for this update. I know I'm one of those people. I didn't necessarily quit the game, but I needed to see some changes before I hop back on and really committed to it. So gameplay adjustments are going to be the first thing that we go over, and they're going to start off with battle adjustments. All stage, well, I guess not battle adjustments, but things going on around battling. All stages can now be selected in offline player 1 versus player 2 battles, and I'm gonna assume they're talking about split screen multiplayer here. Correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments, but this will be the only thing that makes sense to me right here. So now we're gonna be able to potentially play all stages in local split screen multiplayer. That's a huge W. I know a lot of people were asking for that before the game even came out, so if that is the case, then that's amazing. Next is gonna be functionality adjustments, and we're gonna start off with battle setup. So they're going to start off by saying a function allowing you to change a character's display method has been added. The My Sets function has been added for team members. So are they talking about, I'm going to assume they're talking about all the characters, different transformations, having a different display menu for that, because I did see a screenshot of that on Twitter. If that's not what they're talking about right here, please feel free to let me know down below in the comments. And also this right here, the My Sets function has been added for team members. Is this going to be a preset option for teams? Next is going to be rank match / player match. You can now skip the intro battle animations, requires both characters to input the skip command. Yo, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even upset at the first match that you play against an opponent that you have to watch the intros, but if you guys run the set, the second and third matches, you should be able to skip hands down. But if you're able to skip the intros on all 3 matches, that I'm not mad at that either. That is amazing. Thank you so much for implementing that. I know pretty much everybody was asking for that to some capacity. Next is going to be player matches. You can now set your team to hidden or revealed to your opponent when editing your team. Oh, so now you're going to be able to see what teams you're playing against, and your opponent can see your team before the match starts. That's actually not a bad change. If they don't do anything about the rage quitting, I can see how this could potentially turn into a negative, especially if you see a team or you're playing a team that your opponent potentially doesn't want to play. So if they didn't implement that rage quit, penalty or whatever, we don't even need the opponent to be punished if they rage quit. We just want the points. We've been saying that for weeks now. They don't have to get permanently banned. That's kind of insane, especially if people paid however much they paid for whichever version of the game they got. I don't think people should be permanently banned from ranked match, but I do think that those points should be allocated to the person that was rage quit against. Next, there's gonna be a little custom battle mode update as well. Text can now be sorted alphabetically. Okay, so a little small change for custom battle. Custom battle is one of those things that I wasn't necessarily disappointed with, but I do think that we had higher hopes for custom battle. Maybe it's just because I haven't dived as deeply into the custom battle mode as I could have. It's just kind of overwhelming a little bit. I feel like it could have been manufactured a little bit better, if that makes sense to you guys. So next is going to be the options. You can now set the battle camera distance to be closer. What do you guys think about that? I never really considered FOV changes in a game like this. Ever since the early days of getting gameplay demos in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, we've been exposed to how wonky the camera can be at certain times, but I feel like over time it did get improved a lot. And even when giants were introduced into the game, a lot of these changes up here so far have been relatively minor, besides like the intro skipping and If this is the local split screen multiplayer change, then that's pretty huge as well. We haven't gotten to the battle system adjustments yet, which is going to be probably the biggest portion of this video, so I'm excited to see what exactly they changed with the gameplay itself. So the first battle system adjustment is going to be a new movement option, and this is going to be high speed dragon dash, a brand new action for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. The new quick movement action high speed dragon dash, where you can move quickly towards your opponent, has been added, performed by using R2 and holding X on PS5 or RT and holding A on Xbox. And I feel like this is going to be really exciting. This could mean a couple of things. I'm kind of nervous about this, but I don't feel like adding a new movement option is necessarily a bad thing. I also don't think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero was lacking in the movement option department either, so we'll just have to see what this means for especially high level gameplay. Of course, at this point in time, I haven't seen any clips of this new movement mechanic yet, so until then, I'm excited to see all of the new things that are getting added to the gameplay aspect of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Next is going to be the Smash Attack update. They're going to say you will no longer be stunned when hit by a rush ki blast when charging a smash attack. When charging a smash attack during a rush attack, charge time reduction based on hit count has been increased. Alright, and next is going to be the smash attack change, and they're going to start out by saying you will no longer be stunned when hit by a rush ki blast when charging a smash attack. When charging a smash attack during a rush attack, charge time reduction based on hit count has been increased. I feel like this first sentence right here is really important because there's so many ways to get stunned in this game. Next is going to be the rush ki blast itself. The time between being able to fire the next rush ki blast after firing the maximum consecutive amount at once, which is different for each character, has been increased. Rush ki blast deflection. You can now move while deflecting rush ki blast. Okay. Now next is going to be what did they change about the step-ins, man? You will now no longer be able to be hit by certain attacks immediately. Well, you'll no longer be able to be hit by certain attacks immediately after performing a step. Rush ki blast and smash ki blast can now also be okay, that's pretty lit actually. Okay, I thought when I first read this, like when I first glanced over it, I thought this said you will no longer be able to do certain like attacks immediately after performing a step. I thought they were nerfing steps, but nah, okay, I'm kind of excited about that. I can't wait to see how that's going to be changed. All right, so next is Z Burst Dash. Hopefully this is getting ever so slight nerf, and they're gonna say the amount of ki consumed when activating it has been increased. All right, I like the sound of that. Burst Smash. Ki will no longer be consumed when activating it and will instead consume an amount based on the distance traveled. Huh. That's a pretty smart change, actually. All right, so now we're moving into things like Z Surge, Z Counter, Revenge Counter, and things like that. The stuff that I really wanted to see if they were going to implement some changes for it. And it looks like they did a couple of things to Z Counter, so I can't wait to get to that. But first, we're going to go into Z Surge. All right, so starting out with Z Surge, they're going to say Z Surge will no longer lose track of your opponent when characters are swapped. And I assume they're talking about when your opponent swaps right here. And then the next change, they're going to say you will now quickly regain sight of your opponent if they enter your line of sight from the front when Z Surge is not locked onto them. Thank God, because when you clearly see the opponent in front of you, you got to get like 10 feet away from them for Z Surge to finally lock on. That was so annoying, especially with certain characters having like instant transmission that locks you off of them and things like that. I'm sure most of you guys watching this video have experienced the instant transmission cheese before. All right, fellas, so now we're moving on to the real stuff. Z Counter, Revenge Counter, things like that. And if you guys kind of tend to forget sometimes because the names did get switched as far as I remember from the old Tenkaichi games to now, Z Counter is our vanishes, like our vanish battles and things like that we get into that everybody's been complaining about. Super counters are the ones where you hold up on the stick and you press the square button. You have to time those correctly. I feel like those potentially could have been changed as well, but I feel like Z Counter is the main thing that everybody was complaining about, me included. Like, the vanish battles are one of the most boring aspects of this game, I'm gonna be honest. So the first thing they did was shorten the input window for Z Counters, okay? So they are gonna be a little bit harder to hit. Then the next thing they did, Z Counters will become more difficult to perform if performed consecutively. Thank the Lord. But how is this implemented? Is this gonna be, are they gonna be sped up every time they're hit consecutively? I feel like that's the main thing people were asking for. Just, you know, speed up the vanish battles if they keep going on for too long. Make them harder to hit after each consecutive successful vanish. Ki consumed has been increased when successfully performing a Z counter. Okay. And skill count increased speed has been reduced when successfully performing a Z counter as well. All right, so they definitely listen to the community when it comes to these Z counter vanish battles. I feel like this is potentially going to be one of the best changes in this patch. I feel like, of course, we're definitely not going to be able to say definitively until we get our hands on this update and see how this feels in game ourselves. But I mean, this is one of the biggest things that we were asking for with this update. So as long as everybody's happy with this portion of the update, I feel like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is moving in a good direction. So we'll just have to see tomorrow how good the Z counter vanish battles feel now. If they're gonna feel just as boring as before, or if these 4 changes right here are gonna make a huge difference in the gameplay pace. Next, we're gonna move on to revenge counters. What did they do to revenge counters? I barely ever see anybody use these. So next, they're gonna say skill count consumed when using perception against revenge counter has been reduced from 2 to 1. You know what? This is actually a good change right here, because the couple of times, and trust me, it has been few and far in between that I fought opponents that spam revenge counter. I feel like I've done a pretty decent job calling those revenge counters out with super perception, but at a certain point it doesn't really feel fair that my skill counts are draining a lot faster than theirs, and I'm the one making the correct call out. They're just pressing revenge counter because I did literally anything on God's green earth to them. But like I said, this doesn't happen too often, but as long as there's a way to kind of even the playing field when it comes to these counter battles with perception versus revenge counter, and it doesn't feel like you're wasting your resources to kind of keep your opponent at bay with this type of stuff, that's a good change to me. Next is going to be rush attacks during Sparky mode. Gradual damage reduction of consecutive hits has been increased. All right, guys, y'all gotta hear me out on this. I feel like not everybody is gonna like this update in particular, but to me, until you reach a certain rank, I feel like this is the only combo a lot of people know when they reach Sparking mode. Just spam square. If your opponent can't super counter out of it, just spam square until you get some type of knockdown on them, and then you can do your Sparking mode ultimate. Now you can't just get a bazillion damage doing that, and you know that on top of your Sparking mode ultimate as well. So now hopefully this will incentivize people to learn some different combos in Sparking mode. So I can't wait to see how this is going to change the gameplay as well. Another good change if you ask me. Next is going to be a little bit of a combo change right here. Okay, the final attack of aerial combos and aerial slash combos will no longer be interrupted by guard. Oh my god, thank the Lord. Okay, so I don't know if some of you fellas remember, but in a lot of my past ranked videos in this game, I've complained about sometimes it feeling like, you know I'm not dropping my combos. I know the hit detection is not that bad in this game, but it just feels like there's certain gaps within certain combos that shouldn't be there, that allow the opponent to hold down the block button or hold down the perception button. And these were some of those instances, some of those combo sequences that I feel like they shouldn't have been able to do that. Now that's been fixed, so that's another W change. All right, so next is going to be the character switch. Health recovery rate of standby characters has been reduced. Thank God, man. Bro, no more of that constantly switching out, stalling with characters that get back like a whole bar of health when they switch. Yo, another great change, man. Thank the Lord. Yo, I'm getting back on the game tomorrow. I'm uploading the Sparking Zero video tomorrow, man. We got to check out these changes. So next is going to be the Z burst dash when it comes to giant characters. The tackle done by giant characters during Z burst dashes is now guardable. Yo, let's go. Bro, this game is... Yo, Sparking Zero is great again. Sparking Zero is great again. So I don't know if this counts. Does Dr. Wheelo count in this? Because he's like the main culprit of this. Bro, as long as... I don't even care about the other giant characters, man. Just make this applicable for Dr. Wheelo, and we're in there. Like Haruta Garn, Janemba, they can keep that for all I care. As long as Dr. Wheelo is the main, he's the main culprit of this. So as long as this is a change implemented for him as well, oh my, bro, we're back in business, boys. Yo, we're getting back on Sparking Zero tomorrow. I might have to, I don't know if I can stream tomorrow. I might have to stream Friday because I got something I got to do tomorrow. But let's go. Let's go. Another W change, man. So next we're gonna, bro. Yo, these changes right here are so nuts, man. I'm so proud of this team, man. I'm so proud of this team, bro. I'm excited to play Sparking Zero tomorrow. I can't wait. I can't wait, bro. These last like 5, man. Okay, so everything from Z search down to this Z burst dash change for giant characters. This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 massive W changes right here. Yo, guys, let me know. I feel like we don't even gotta read no more, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm happy with what we just saw in the battle system adjustments though. So next is gonna be the skills adjustments. Skills that cause instant spark emotes. Skill count consumed has been increased. Thank God. I think I saw something on Twitter that it's going to be going from 3 to 4 skill counts, if I'm not mistaken. Bump it up to 5 for all I care. If it is 5, kudos to y'all, man. Skills that increase stats in general. Skill count consumed has been decreased for those. Okay, I kind of got worried for a second, but I see false courage is right here, so I'm not going to trip out yet. Okay, I almost got a little bit scared because I thought that this was going to be applicable to false courage and things like that as well, but nope, they addressed that right here, so we'll get to that after image strike. Effect duration has been reduced to 10 seconds and will be removed if your opponent uses perception while you're under the effect. After image strike, users get fucked. False courage. Skill count consumed has been increased from 1 to 2. Okay, another good change, but don't 19 and Dr. Dro, don't they start the match with 2 skill counts? So they can just, can't they still just do that right away at the start of the match? I mean, that's still a good change, but oh, there's Dr. Giro and 19 changes down here. Okay, well, let me not get too ahead of myself. All right, so next is going to be the technique. All I need is 5 seconds, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the Super Saiyan 4 Goku technique, right? Skill count consumed has been increased from 3 to 2. I think they mean decreased, and status increase upon activation has been increased. Okay, I don't really use Super Saiyan 4 Goku as much as I feel like I should, but with a slight change like this, I mean, it's a really slight change, but it'll give me an excuse to try him out for a video, I guess, right? Now, next is going to be Stardust Barrier. I feel like this move is plenty strong, but it didn't really need changes, but let's see what they did. You can now activate it while receiving melee attacks from the front. What? Why? Why? You can activate this and hit stun? Why? Why? I don't... Okay, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta is plenty strong. I don't feel like he needed that, but all right, whatever. We'll see how that works out in gameplay. I feel like that's just another annoying thing about Blue Gogeta that we're gonna have to deal with now. Blast adjustments. Long range blast and ultimate blast. Speed has been reduced. Super Vegeto's final Kamehameha, ki consumed and damage has been increased. Okay, so it is gonna do more damage, but it's gonna cost more ki as well. Okay, and we're actually going to get a Daima Goku or Goku Mini change as well to his Quick Rush technique. Trajectory can now be changed while rushing. I feel like he should have been able to do that before, but it's good that he's able to do that now. There's also going to be a Mr. Satan change as well to Present Mom, increased lag after activation. I don't feel like that was necessary, but maybe this is really getting spammed at a higher level for like no punishment whatsoever. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't feel like that needed to get changed, but hey, more in lag on some of these spammable supers and stuff like that, I guess that's not a bad thing, right? So now we're going to get into a couple of the character adjustments. We knew that 19 and Dr. Giro were going to get changed. We knew this was coming, and I see Dr. Wheelo down there as well. So first, we're going to start out with the 2 androids. Health/ki amount absorbed on successful throw has been adjusted. Thank God. Dragon Dash, Quick Ascend, and Quick Descend now consume ki. Thank God. It's a shame that this had to get showcased to the whole entire world for this change to be implemented, but thank the heavens above that the androids are getting a little bit of a nerf. I know that y'all don't want characters, some of y'all don't want characters in this game to be nerfed. They should be broken for whatever reason, but at the same time you want the game to be super uber competitive, like Evo stage type shit. That you can't have both. I'm sorry. Either characters got to get adjusted, or this game is not going to be looked at as competitive by anybody. I'm sorry, that's just the way it goes, okay? All right, so next is going to be Second Form Cell. You can now escape the throw. What exactly do they mean by this? Is the throw techable now? Because in my experience in this game, the people that have untechable throws like UI Goku, Second Form Cell, guys like that, I've never had a problem escaping these type of throws unless I was just mashing, like life dependent on it, like mindlessly mashing. So I'm gonna assume for right now that they made his throw techable. I could be wrong, but we'll see tomorrow. Cooler got a little bit of adjustment as well. Amount of health restored upon transforming has been increased. Okay, it's time to play some Cooler actually. I don't think I've ever tried this character since this game's been out, but if he's gonna get more health now when he transforms, that's something worth looking into. Giant characters, increase the time it takes to charge a smash attack and reduce its power. Alright, so giant characters have gotten a couple adjustments in this patch. And last but not least, when it comes to character adjustments in this month's patch for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grade 8 Vegeta and my arch nemesis Dr. Wheelo, alongside Androids 19 and Dr. Zero, alongside Super Vegito, alongside Master Roshi and Chaozu, and I could go on and on. But Dr. Wheelo and Grade 8 Vegeta are gonna have their maximum health reduced. I don't really care about Grade 8 Vegeta as much. Now, when you get into DP battles and he starts doing all that switching out and things like that, Grade 8 Vegeta does get a little annoying, and when he transforms, it's a lot of shenanigans going on with Grade 8 Vegeta. But Dr. Wheelo especially, why does this dude have like almost 5 bars of health? That was unnecessary. And then you couple that with the unguardable dragon homing dash and things like that. It's nonsense, man. So I'm not gonna lie, what am I rating this patch just on paper right now, not having played it yet? I think this is like a 9 out of 10 patch right now. Maybe I'm gassing it a little bit, but they addressed almost everything. I feel like on paper, this is about to be a great update. There's still a couple of things that they haven't addressed yet. Maybe 1 or 2 other things that I can think of off the top of my head that I wish we would have seen in here. One of those things obviously being the rage quitting penalty. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't think people necessarily need to be banned indefinitely from ranked. I mean, we all paid our money for the game, but you know, just allocating those points to whoever was rage quit on, I feel like that's all that needs to be done. And maybe a very slight change to super counters, make them a little bit more difficult, make the maybe make them cost a little bit more resources. And if you guys can think of any other changes that were maybe left out down below in the comments, let me know. But from what we've seen so far on this list right here, they addressed a lot of I mean, guys, they addressed after image strike, they addressed false courage, they addressed the androids, giant characters, the unblockable Z burst dash from the giant characters, the what feels like infinite health recovery when you change to standby in DP battles. They address the vanish battles. Like, there's a lot of stuff in here that they listened to us about, they paid attention to, and they implemented what I feel like are really good changes. Even to all the way up here to what I'm still assuming this is preset teams for DP battles. That's such a good quality of life change. I've been asking for that since week 1, and it's not the most major change in the world, but I feel like just little quality of life changes like that, they just make the player base more happy over time. I can do nothing but clap it up and give a huge salute to Bandai Namco and the Spike Chunsoft team. This is such a great direction to take the game. I really hope we can all hop back on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero tomorrow and enjoy the changes that this update is about to bring. Let me know down below in the comments how you guys feel about this update so far on paper. Again, we haven't played anything yet, so we don't necessarily know how these changes are going to affect the game overall, but from what I've read so far, I'm really excited to get back on the game, and I hope you guys are as well. Once again, huge salute to Bandai Namco and the Spike Chunsoft team. I'm excited to get back on Dragon Ball Sparking Zero again. It feels like the game's finally about to release. I know that sounds weird to say. It feels like the game is finally releasing now. But anyways, fellas, have a great day. Please let me know down below in the comments what you feel about all of these changes. And the couple of changes, I'm not even going to say the one change overall because there's a lot going on here. Let me know a couple of these changes that you see here so far that you're most excited about. Before we get out of here, I'm going to let you know right now, all of these last 7 right here in the battle system adjustments, I am all for this. I'm excited to get back on the game and see how this stuff really changes up the gameplay for me, especially being kind of in the mid to higher ranks. This stuff right here is really going to make a big difference. So let me know down below in the comments the changes that you're most excited to see in tomorrow's patch. But anyways, fellas, have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow for some more Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Bye, guys.